Following the first passage of 1836, the renewed covenant of light entered what the journals describe as its season of harvest. Membership nearly doubled in less than 2 years, drawing not only the rural poor of Brookhaven Township, but also merchants, tradesmen, and even minor landowners from neighboring counties. From the outside, the covenant appeared industrious and self-sufficient. They expanded their landholdings, built additional dwellings, and established workshops producing candles, textiles, and finely crafted wooden furniture, items sold in nearby towns under the label Made in the Light. Profits flowed into the sanctuary, but so too did property deeds, as new members were persuaded to surrender the weight of ownership for the sake of spiritual elevation. Inside the covenant's inner circle, however, the journals show a steady escalation of control. Attendance at nightly vigils became mandatory. Food was rationed according to a member's readiness for the light. Those deemed spiritually advanced were given less, as depriving was framed as a mark of purity. Conversations with outsiders were discouraged, and travel beyond the covenant's lands required Elder Elias' personal permission. The most devout, called vessels of the light, were invited to undergo deep purification. The early stages resembled ascetic monastic practice, fasting, cold water immersion, long periods of silent prayer. But over time, the measures became more extreme: binding of limbs during meditation, prolonged isolation in lightless rooms, and exposure to near-freezing temperatures for hours at a time. By 1838, according to the records, passages were being conducted quarterly. The selection process became a public event. During Sunday gatherings, Prophet Jonas would scan the crowd with a fixed gaze, sometimes stopping mid-sermon to point at a member. That person's name would be recorded in a leather-bound ledger by Deacon Matthew, and from that day forward they were treated with both reverence and distance. One particularly revealing letter preserved in the Massachusetts Historical Archive comes from a former member named Abigail Rhodes, who escaped in 1839. At first, we thought the chosen were blessed, but once marked for passage, they were not the same. They slept apart, ate apart, and spoke little. Some cried quietly at night. Others seemed almost eager. We were told not to question the light's choice, but in my heart I knew it was a death sentence. The journals also document a change in the nature of the trials. While the first passage emphasized symbolic ordeals, earth, water, flame, the later rituals grew more calculated. Deacon Matthew's notes show precise measurements of heartbeat, breathing, and blood loss, alongside diagrams of the body marked with symbols. In one margin he wrote, "Pain is the chisel, the vessel is the stone. Only through carving can the light enter fully." By the early 1940s, rumors had begun to leak into nearby towns. Families who lost relatives to the covenant were given evasive explanations. They have passed into the light, or they walk in places you cannot see yet. When local authorities inquired, they were met with polite but firm denials. The sanctuary, they were told, was a private house of worship, and all within its walls was protected under the freedom of religion. The Mercer brothers had achieved what few such groups could: complete domination over their followers, a growing economic base, and near total immunity from inside interference. But the journals hint at an ambition that reached far beyond Brookhaven. In a December 1841 entry, Elder Elias wrote, "The light has shown us the map. This is only the first beacon. Others will rise in other lands. The network will grow unseen until the whole earth is alight." That vision would soon lead to a darker, more secretive phase in the covenant's history, one that centered not in the sanctuary, but deep beneath it.